Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. 90s kid, what's up everybody? Today we are making peach cobbler with homemade buttermilk ice cream. It is gonna blow your socks off. It is so dang good. We've got about 2 pounds of peaches, that's about 5 peaches, and we're just gonna add a half cup of sugar. Boom, just like that. We're just gonna give these guys a little toss. All the sugar is gonna do is pull out some of the natural juices from the peaches. Stick of butter, meet your match. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in our oven that we've preheated to 350. It should take about 5 minutes for that stick of butter to melt, and that should give us plenty of time to make this cobbler. My grandmother, my mama, used to make peach cobbler, and when I started cooking, this was like one of the first things that I mastered because it's a really easy and delicious recipe. The secret is white lily self-rising flour. So we're just gonna add some sugar to that, a little bit of salt, gotta have some salt, some cinnamon for spice. Let's do vanilla, let's do almond extract, and we're gonna do a little bit of half and half. So this is gonna be a really loose batter, very liquidy. Smart cookie fact of the day, the world's largest peach cobbler is made every year at the Georgia Peach Festival, and it is 11 feet by 5 feet and 8 inches deep. It takes 75 pounds of peaches to make this thing every year, and it is huge. I know that that kind of looks a little alarming because it's basically liquid, but I promise it's gonna spread out over the whole casserole and then it's gonna poof up and it's gonna be delicious. So our butter is melted. I'm gonna go grab that hot pan out of the oven. Oh yeah. We're just gonna pour our batter over the top. Do not stir. This is imperative. I'm gonna say it again. Do not stir. The reason you don't wanna stir it is this batter is going to spread out all over this, but the butter is gonna help us kind of get a crispy top to this. It's also kind of acting as our nonstick spray. So you don't wanna combine the two because they're doing their own things, you know? They just need to commingle. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man. It's stuck in my head and it's stuck in yours too. Add our peaches. Dude, I'm telling you, the swimming pool of butter is where it's at, and that's why you don't stir, because you want a swimming pool of butter. I'm gonna food style this for a second. I'm gonna food style the swimming pools of butter. Back in the oven we go. 45 to 50 minutes, and then we'll have a cobbler. All right, while this bakes, I'm gonna show you how to make homemade buttermilk ice cream. The first thing you've gotta do is we're gonna make what's called a creme anglaise. Creme anglaise is basically just the base for an ice cream, and it's a custard that's thickened with a lot of egg yolks. So I've got 2 cups of cream and a cup of sugar, and we're just gonna get this bad boy going. Oh. It's just telling me I can't go any lower. Been there in my life before, but you have too. Okay, I've got this on medium heat. You don't want it to get too hot. We're just trying to bring this up to almost a simmer. Our next step would be cracking 12 eggs. So we've got 12 egg yolks in this bowl. You can do this with less, but I really think a dozen egg ice cream is so good. It makes it so incredibly rich. So we're just gonna wait for this to heat up now for a moment, and then they can cut this in post. Thanks, guys. Smart cookie fact of the day. Where does the phrase, "you're a real peach," come from? It comes from this old tradition of giving a peach to a friend that you like. You're a real peach comes from just giving a peach to a friend that you really like. You're a real peach. And that's what I think about all of you little cookies out there. You're a real peach. That's the other thing about ice cream. This is kind of like a labor of love. It's a little tedious, especially because it requires all of your attention. I mean, this is not really a thing you can walk away from. So you have to just keep an eye, like take the time out of the day to make it. I promise you, the product at the end is so worth it. Just want our cream and our sugar to come up to almost a simmer. We just need it to be hot. And the reason we're gonna do that is because we're gonna do what's called tempering eggs, which means we're gonna slowly pour some hot syrup into the eggs. So basically it's gonna slowly bring our eggs up to temperature a little bit. Because if we were just to pour these into a hot pot, they would scramble and that would be gross and we would have to start over, and my God, we've already cracked a dozen eggs, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and start whisking now, and then I'm gonna slowly start to drizzle this in. These are up to temp, but the eggs are not cooked yet, and we need for the eggs to kind of cook. We'll know that it's cooked once the whole mixture kind of thickens up. If you wanted to and you want to be a little bit safer, you could totally do this over a double boiler as well. But I'm gonna live on the edge a little bit, and I'm just gonna go directly on the stovetop. Now you really have to babysit this mixture. So I've got this on medium heat. I'm not gonna go any higher than that. In fact, I'm gonna turn it to kind of closer to low medium-ish. And I'm just gonna continually kind of whisk this. You can't let it sit for too long because the liquid at the bottom of the pot will get hotter than the liquid at the top of the pot, and you'll start to see curds of eggs start to form. So you're gonna wanna keep this on a pretty low temperature and keep it constantly moving. So just stick with it. I'm gonna be doing this for a couple of minutes. So, Smart Cookie has some very exciting news, and if you are watching this episode right now, you can also see this recipe and this outfit in the June-July issue of Allrecipes Magazine. So I hope that you are subscribing to the magazine, because if you are, this is like totally a crossover, and it's been a very exciting thing for me. And if you've just been watching my show, you can also pick up the issue. You can find out a little bit about me, about my life, about my dog, about why I'm making peach cobbler, my favorite kitchen gadgets, all kinds of stuff. There's an incredible interview in there, and it's been really fun to get to be in both the internet world for Allrecipes and also in print. It's pretty cool. They have included these QR codes all over the issue. So basically, you can scan these QR codes and I will walk you through the whole issue. And if so, I hope you will pick up an issue from the newsstand. It's the June-July issue. It's very exciting. Okay, perfect timing because our ice cream base is actually ready to go. When you're whisking now, there's a little bit of a trail. You can see that this is thickened up and it's holding, and there's now like a little bit of a trail behind the whisk. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the heat. We're gonna finish it up. So we've got our hot custard. We're gonna add a little 1/4 cup of sugar, a little bit of salt, a little bit of vanilla bean paste. So vanilla bean paste, instead of having to scrape the seeds out of a vanilla bean yourself, you can actually just buy the paste, which is essentially vanilla bean. You can actually still see some of the beans in there. Okay, now the piece de resistance, buttermilk. Some of you are like, are you serious? Are you really making buttermilk ice cream? And the truth is that yes, I am. Okay, so we are gonna add about 2 cups of whole fat buttermilk. Now we're gonna go into the fridge. This needs to cool off for at least 4 hours. It needs to be cold. I actually recommend that you do this the day before, so you let it sit overnight before you even try to make it into ice cream. It needs to be super, super, super cold. And you wanna also give it some time because it's gonna help the egg reset that custard. Our final step, we are going to strain this. In case your custard got a little too hot or you weren't stirring or something, all you need to do to help with that is to pour your custard through a fine mesh strainer, and that will get rid of any sort of lumps or bumps that you might have. So you're just gonna pour that guy right through. Now I know you're like, this is yellow ice cream. You're right, yes, the ice cream's gonna be kind of yellow because the amount of egg yolks that you've used, but I promise you, it's worth it. People are gonna be like, is it lemon? And you'll be like, no, it's buttermilk. And they'll taste it and they'll be like, oh my God, it's so good. It's not rye egg, it's not rye egg. It's a creme anglaise. It's like, you could put this on top of a brownie and it would be delicious, but we're just gonna go ahead and go the extra step and make it ice cream. Now that your custard is done, you're just gonna cover it in cling wrap, pop it in the fridge overnight, and then the next day you would come back and make your ice cream. I'll be back in just a minute. Here we are. So all we're gonna do is pour our custard into our ice cream maker. Now all you would do is freeze this according to your ice cream maker's instructions. I've found that a lot of ice cream makers will tell you to freeze something for a whole hour. I actually think that about 45 minutes is perfect. You'll know it's done when basically you'll start to hear it struggle a little bit, and also when you look into the ice cream maker, if it's no longer churning and it just seems like it's frozen solid, it's time to take it out. And then once that happens, you'll want to put it in a loaf pan or something similar to this. This is going to be more like the texture of soft serve, which is delicious, but if you want it to really be ice cream, you got to give it a little bit more time to freeze. So So we would let this go for about 45 minutes. Then once it's frozen, we'll pop it in here. Ice cream. Like the ice cream truck. Okay, so we turned our creme anglaise and then we put it in a loaf pan and we froze it for a few hours, and there it is. It's so beautiful. The best way to eat this is hot cobbler, cold ice cream. It's gonna be so good. Oh yeah. Look at those bubbles. Let's give them something to talk about. Beautiful, beautiful peach cobbler. I mean, look at those bubbles. Guys, I wish you could smell in the kitchen right now because it smells like peachy, cinnamony deliciousness. Scoop, scoop of this, a scoop of that. Everything delightful. Cobbler's done. Cobbler's done. Ice cream's done. Time to plate it up. You know what I mean? That is what I'm talking about. I'm about to get a second scoop. Yes. Yes. Yeah, you could eat this on its own, but like, let's get in there with this homemade ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Peachy, creamy, crunchy, all the things you could possibly want out of a dessert. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be a real peach and like, share, subscribe, comment, ring that bell. You know what I'm saying? All right, I hope that you enjoy this summer. I know I will. Peaches come from a camp, they were put there by a man.